I'd like to welcome everybody back to Studio B. With me today is Sharelle Mendenhall. She's the only female in the United States Senate race, and I'm very excited to have you here today. So let's chat about why you decided to jump into this race.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I think the conversation across the board has become so divisive. It's the stolen, was it not stolen? No matter what, there is election integrity issues. We just saw most recently over in Arizona a woman who pled guilty to a massive, elaborate ballot harvesting scheme. So people wanted proof. We now have proof across the board, and that's what we're going to continue to do. And what we need to do moving forward, this is something that is undermining the very fabric of America. If we don't feel like our vote counts, there are individuals who died for us to be able to have these freedoms and these rights. Everything changes, every law changes, the city changes when we don't have our voice electing the right individuals. So going forward, I will be aggressively going after making sure that we have an entire protected system. And right now what we have isn't infallible. We have different systems in different states. So we're going to break down the analytics and ensure going forward that people believe in our system again.
Recently we've had some shootings in schools and gun control has come up. How do you feel about that?
I am a constitutionalist, so I'm going to support the Constitution of the United States of America. In addition to that, I want to point out what people are not talking about. So take a look at Chicago. Chicago has some of the strictest gun laws in the entire nation, and they have some of the worst gun crime in the entire nation. The gun laws aren't working. Bottom line. So we need to start having different conversations. I don't care who you are. I don't care what party you are. Crime is a human issue, not a party issue. Kids dying, that's a human issue, not a party issue. So as I take a look at this, I'm not willing to have the same conversations everybody else is having. I ask the question, why do corporate buildings have better security with a badge, with security guards? Why do they have better protection than our kids in schools?
Very interesting. We have a big problem at the borders and immigration and illegals coming across. What can we do to control this so that we can keep crime down?
There's a lot of ways that we can do this, but I am absolutely for securing our borders. It's not just about immigration. One of the biggest things that I have to get the point across is that we have crime, we have fentanyl coming in, and just to kind of put it into perspective, we have fentanyl killing Americans at the same rate that individuals died in World War II. That is how extreme this is, and most of it is being manufactured in Mexico. So that's number one. Number two, human trafficking. Take a look at this. So about every 30 seconds, a child goes missing. So when we're having those conversations, you see Texas just rescued 70 kids, 70 missing kids. So we're not talking about the real issues. Immigration, proper immigration, I am a huge proponent of making sure that every single individual who wants to come over here legally is supported in that process. It is the process of illegal immigration, them flooding our borders, and then as a nation, us giving them aid, giving them a place to stay while we have Americans, we have veterans here on our streets, and we're not taking care of our own.
Mm-hmm.
Something just to bolster that, just as far as what we can do, I don't think I answered that question. I was having the conversation, just beyond securing our borders, there are so many retired, even police officers, that we could actually put at that border. There's so many that would love the opportunity to serve again. So I think we need to get creative. We need to have answers for the current and for our future. I'm not a person who likes Band-Aids, but I do want to make sure that we're finding a solution for the now, but also for our future. Because after I'm in office, I want to make sure that things that we've put in place to secure our country are not being eroded.
The floor has become so divided. How do you see that you could work across the aisle to working with the other side to bring the country back together? I mean, we all have lives and we all live in the great country of the United States of America. As a senator, what can you do to help that?
It is the simple fact that almost every single issue we're talking about is a human issue, not a party issue. There are a few things that obviously, draw down the party lines, but I'm not looking for the notoriety just for my party. I'm looking to make sure that Americans are our sole focus. So these safe communities and kids being able to go to school without fear, that's a human issue, not a party issue. You also take a look at election integrity. I asked the question to so many different individuals. I said, okay, would you allow even just 2% fraud in your bank account? No.
No, not at all.
Absolutely not. And so we need to make sure going forward that we all have something we can stand behind and we don't have these election integrity issues. And we break it down and say, water, that's a human issue, not a party issue. Safety, human issue, not a party issue. And that's how I want to reach across the aisle.
Do you think that the government has been stained by the recent activities in the last 2.5, 3 years of the infighting between the representatives of our country?
Absolutely. I mean, but we have it within our own party as well. So, just as a Republican, something that I see is we only had 11 Republican senators who voted against that $40 billion to go to Ukraine, while simultaneously, the same day, voting down the $48 billion to go to the United States and small business owners here. What is wrong with that? We have inflation going through the roof. We're paying for this. This is not just something that just comes out of thin air or the government has this on lock. These are our tax dollars. So we need to ensure the individuals we're electing, it's important, it is imperative that they care about America and their constituents and not just the party line.
Do you think Biden made a big mistake by leaving all the equipment and everything behind? I mean, how do you think that's going to turn out, and what's your opinion on that?
He absolutely made a mistake by leaving all of that behind. The entire withdrawal was an absolute disaster. Something that I see is it emboldened just these other individuals to start moving in their own, just these different countries to move towards their own agenda.
What can we do to make the quality of life for all Americans and the backbone of America, which is small businesses? So two subjects there, but what can we do better to make small businesses thrive again, which is a direct response to the quality of life for the middle class?
We need to remove red tape and support small business. So right now we have tax after tax after tax, and we see these individuals who are trying and they're striving and they're failing. We're trying to give money to individuals who are to pay off their college debt, but yet we have these small businesses employing individuals, and we're undermining them by saying you now have to pay these individuals X amount of dollars instead of opening it up, letting them have some tax breaks, and giving them the opportunity to hire more individuals. That's where things change, is when we empower the small business owner, not put all these different pieces of red tape on it.
What do you think your relationship would be with other senators who have a different opinion in regards to the overall look at the American people and special interest bigger corporations? I mean, how do you work that game?
For me, something that I've said from the very beginning is that we need to bring honor back to the table. Because a lot of times we just need to sit down, we need to hear each other out, and then come to a place where we can actually take care of Americans again. Sometimes, and there are some issues that we will never be able to come to a middle ground on, but there are so many things. Again, I'm going to go back to the thing. These are human issues, not party issues. America is hurting. Inflation is hurting us all. It is hurting every single individual's pocketbook. We take a look at, the crime. That is hurting everyone. Fentanyl, hurting everyone. So, these controversial topics, I truly believe that we need to go in, we need to sit down and say, this isn't about me, it's not about you, this is about America.
It puts us right in the catbird seat of, why are we tearing down our law enforcement and those that are protecting us? What's happening there?
In general, you take a look at what the media is doing and they're demonizing these heroes. I had this conversation with a young boy. He was probably 15 years old out in Boulder City. And when I called the police heroes, he's like, "You think they're heroes?" And I said, "I absolutely do." And I said, every single day they put their life on the line to protect us. And he's like, "I don't believe that they're heroes." He's like, "That's the job they signed up for." And this is a young kid. And so for me, when I saw this, it breaks my heart. So in that, we need to not be reactive anymore. We need to be proactive in making sure that we're supporting our police, making sure that these kids growing up know how vital it is to have a strong and credible law enforcement. Are there bad apples? Absolutely. There are bad apples in every single scenario. In corporate America, we have it in trades, we have it in every single trade in general. And so it is not just these police officers when they're trying to call them out. The media is demonizing them. And we need to put an end to that abruptly, in addition to making sure that we're rebuilding, that strength of what it looks like to get behind. We back our blue, we support them, we give them the tools even to put the bad guys away. Because right now they're also feeling deflated because there's the catch and release. They're putting them in and then they're all of a sudden they're back out on the streets again. Why are we not backing them up? There are so many different conversations that need to be had around this specific issue. We could talk probably for another hour about.
Very much so. I have a camera over here to my left, and we have all of Las Vegas watching you right now.
Yeah.
What would you basically tell them why they should elect you as their next U.S. Senator?
The reason why you need to elect Sharelle Mendenhall as your next United States Senator is because I'm going in here and I want to do my part to mend the nation. We cannot play political games anymore. We need to go in, get the job done, pass the baton to someone else, and get out. When I'm elected, I'll be the youngest Republican female senator in history, and I want to inspire that next generation to get involved. Right now, we don't have kids wanting to grow up and serve in government. We have them wanting to be TikTok stars. So in general, something that's important to me is that we put a prioritization of lists, the thing that we need to tackle. We go in, we get those jobs done, and we get out. We don't build our entire career in Washington, stay there, and die in Washington. Voter apathy here in Nevada is at an all-time high. We have about 13 to 19% show up to vote in the primaries. So June 14th, I'm asking you to now take responsibility, to take ownership, because every single one of us need to stand in the gap right now. We cannot assume that someone else is going to vote for us or vote the way we would prefer to have this election go. You need to take ownership for you, for your family, for your friends, for your coworkers. Grab at least 10 of them and show up to the polls and let's show the nation who Nevada is.